Class we have discussed the salient features of Indian Constitution. In this class we will discuss the philosophy of Indian Constitution, or put it in another words, the preamble to the Constitution. In order to understand the preamble to the Constitution, we should understood the philosophy of the Constitution. Here question arises, what is meant by philosophy of the Constitution? It means it explains the conceptual structure. It helps to understand the meaning of terms used in the Constitution such as rights, citizenship, minority and democracy. It gives a better grasp of set of ideas embedded in the Constitution. Every Constitution has a philosophy of its own. The preamble is an introduction to the Constitution. It describes the nature, source, ideology, goals and objectives of the Constitution. It describes India as a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, republic nation. And it underlines the national objectives of social justice, economic justice, political justice as well as fraternity. It emphasizes the dignity of individual and unity and integrity of the nation. It declares that in India the people are sovereign. Importance of preamble. Preamble acts as the preface of the Constitution of India, and it lays down the fundamental value and philosophical ideas. It represents the entire Constitution in written words. The wording of preamble highlights some of the fundamental values and guiding principles on which the Constitution of India is based. Preamble reflects the basic structure and spirit of the Constitution. Preamble serves as a tool for interpretation of Constitution. Judges interpret the Constitution in the light of the preamble. Therefore, Constitution should be read and interpreted in the light of the guiding force of the preamble. Scope and ambit of the preamble. Rights and directive principles can be read in the light of the preamble. In a majority of decision, the Supreme Court of India has ruled that neither the preamble nor any of its content is legally enforceable. Preamble plays a vital role when there is an ambiguity in provisions of any article. That means preamble is the guiding factor like stem, root and source to the Constitution. In Ray Beriberi versus Union of India, Supreme Court held that preamble is significant because it highlights the type of society and government it wishes to establish. The Indian Constitution preamble is one of the best of its kind ever drafted, both in ideas and expression. Embodies the spirit of Constitution to build up an independent nation which will ensure the justice, liberty, equality and fraternity. Objectives of the preamble. The purpose of the preamble is to clarify who has made the Constitution, what is its source, what is its ultimate sanction, what is the nature of the polity which is sought to be established by the Constitution, what are its goals and objectives. The preamble to the Indian Constitution is expressed in the following words. We the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure all its citizens, that is justice, social justice, economic justice, political justice, then liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and promote among them all, and finally fraternity, which is assuring the dignity of the individual and unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this Constitution. The terms of Preamble, we the people grant ourselves, clearly make it evident that the sovereignty vests in the people. The people of India thus constitute the sovereign political body that hold the ultimate power, who hold the ultimate power and who conduct the polity of the government through their elected representatives. The nature of Indian polity is also expressed by the terms sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, republic. The preamble of the Constitution serves two purposes. It indicates the source from which the Constitution derives its authority, and it also states the objective which the Constitution seeks to establish and promote. We have discussing the terms which are used in the preamble one by one. We are already discussed some of the terms. Now we are discussing independent and sovereign. The Constitution of India, unlike preceding Government of India Act 1935 and 1919, is not a gift of British Parliament. Ordained by the people of India through their representative, assembled in a sovereign constituent assembly, which was competent to determine the political future of the country in any manner it liked. Sovereignty is a concept of international law. With the advent of independence, India gained an independent status as a separate sovereign nation. The Crown of England ceased to have legal or constitutional authority over India. Sovereignty means an independent authority of a state, and state is not subject to any external control. It means that it has the power to legislate on any subject. Republic means republic declares that the source of all authority under the Constitution is the people of India, and that there is no subordination to any external authority. Pakistan is a British dominion until 1956. India ceased to be a dominion and declared herself a republic since making the Constitution. It means government by the people and for the people. We have an elected president. He is the head of the nation, and all office, including the office of president, will be open to the public or to all citizens. Promotion of international peace. India's pledge contribute to the promotion of world peace, which is reiterated in Article 51 of the Constitution. The state shall endeavour to promote international peace and security and maintain just and honorable relations between nations and international law and treaties. Though India declares her sovereignty to manage her own affairs in unmistakable terms, the Constitution deals, though India declares herself sovereignty to manage her own affairs in unmistakable terms, the Constitution doesn't support isolationism. Indian sovereignty is consistent with the concept of one world, international peace, and amity. The next term is democracy. The picture of democratic republic, which is envisaged in the preamble, is not only political democracy but also from the social point of view. The democracy which is envisaged in the Constitution, of course, a representative democracy. The people of India are to exercise their sovereignty through the parliament at the center and legislature in each state. The next term is justice. In that, first one is political justice, means the absence of any arbitrary distinction between man and man in political sphere. In order to assure the political justice, every person in the territory of India, irrespective of his property or educational qualification, should be allowed to participate in the political system like any other person. Universal adult suffrage was adapted with this object. The term economic justice, it requires not only the removal of poverty but also the multiplication of natural wealth and resources. Economic justice aims at establishing economic democracy and a welfare state. The idea of economic justice is to make equality of status meaningful and life worth living at its best, and removing inequality of opportunity and status. Social justice is a fundamental right. Social justice means to remove social imbalances by law, harmonizing rival claims or interest of different groups and sections in the social structure. Social justice denotes the equal treatment of all citizens without any social discrimination like race, sex, color, religion, and so on. Social justice would be possibly only by means of absence of privilege to any popular section of the society and improvement in the conditions of the backward classes like SC, ST and OBC, and as well as women. Terms used in the preamble we are discussing here is liberty, fraternity and equality. First one is liberty. The term liberty means the absence of restraints on the activities of individuals and at the same time providing opportunities for the development of individual personalities. That means democracy is established with some minimum rights which are essential for a free and civilized existence. That means democracy is established with some minimum rights which are essential for a free and civilized existence. And the preamble secures to all citizens of India liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, worship through their fundamental rights. The next term is equality. The term equality means the absence of special privileges to any section of the society, and provision to provide adequate opportunities for all individuals without any discrimination. Unless all equality is removed from the social structure, guaranteeing some rights would be meaningless. Each individual is assured with equality of status and opportunity for the development of the best in him. This object is secured by making illegal all kinds of discrimination by the state between citizen and citizen. The state shall not make any kind of a discrimination between citizens simply on the ground of religion, race, caste, sex or place of birth. By throwing open public places to all citizens, and by abolishing untouchability, abolishing titles of honor, and offering equality of opportunity in matters of public employment. Besides, to ensure civic equality, Constitution also seeks to achieve political equality by providing for universal adult franchise. Socialism or socialistic pattern of society. Indian Constitution envisages socialism not in the usual sense, because socialism involves nationalization of all means of production and abolition of private property. The Indian brand of socialism is a democratic socialism, is certainly an expansion of the function of the state. The establishment of a socialistic state and welfare state is the goal envisaged by the Constitution. Though the word socialism is vague, our Supreme Court has observed that in principle aim is to eliminate inequality of income and status and standards of life, and to provide a decent standard of life to the working people. Therefore, Indian Constitution does not seek to abolish private property altogether, but seeks to put it under restraint so that it may be used in the interest of the nation, which includes upliftment of the poor. Instead of a total nationalization of all property and industry, it envisages a mixed economy where public and private sectors coexist side by side. From 1992 onwards, the trend is now away from the socialism to privatization. This is keeping in the word trend after the collapse of socialism in the USSR and East European countries. The term socialist did not exist in the original draft of the Indian Constitution. The addition of the term socialist has made explicit the role of welfare state. For instance, the term socialist inserted in the preamble read with the fundamental rights article 14 and 16. It has paved way for the conclusion as to a right to equal pay for equal work. Principal objective of the term socialist is to eliminate inequality of income and status and to provide a decent standard of life to the people, and not the insistence of state ownership to the exclusion of private enterprises as a matter of policy. Next term is unity and integrity of nation. The idea of unity has been supported by adding the word integrity of the nation. In the preamble by 42nd Amendment Act in 1976, but neither the integration of the people nor a democratic political system could be ensured without infusing a spirit of brotherhood amongst the heterogeneous population belonging to different race, religions and cultures. Next word we are discussing here is secularism. A secular state guaranteeing freedom of religion to all. India is a country with diverse population that is heterogeneous in religion, culture, tradition and several other matters. A secular state means the state protects all religions equally and doesn't itself uphold any religion as a state religion. However, the term secular was not present in the original constitution. By 42nd Amendment Act in 1976, the word secular is added to the preamble, thereby making the idea of secularism explicit. The principal aim of secularism is that state shall have no religion of its own, or there shall be no state promoted or no state sponsored religion. Thus, in India, there is no state religionate church, or thus in India, there is no state recognized church or religion. It ordains that state shall respect all religion equally. Secularism is a part of the basic structure of the constitution. Secularism is promised in the preamble is implemented by incorporating the freedom of religion under Article 25 to 29 to all its citizens under the Part 3 of Indian Constitution. Therefore, each individual citizen has a guaranteed freedom to profess, practice and propagate their own religion. The last term used in the preamble is dignity of the individual. A fraternity means a sense of brotherhood, a feeling that all people are children of the same soil and same motherland. The Constitution promotes the feeling of fraternity, which has to secure dignity of the individual and unity and integrity of the nation. Feeling of brotherhood cannot be installed unless the dignity of each of its members is maintained. The Constitution seeks to achieve this objective by guaranteeing equal fundamental rights to each individual so that he can enforce his fundamental if invaded by anyone before the court of law. Dear students, I hope that you understood the concept of preamble, in which the various terms they have used, we have discussed here. Thank you one and all.